So I've got my Philips Sonicare, and recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago, it started, didn't have much power. So when you turn this on, you can hear it vibrates fine, and it works for the most part, but as soon as you put pressure backwards, and this is where the brush would be pointing up, is right here, it loses all power. It doesn't vibrate anymore, and it's like you're not brushing your teeth. And from what I understand, there's two possible problems. One is there's a screw that holds this metal head on. You know, it's a flat-edged, and the screw that holds this on comes loose. That causes a problem. But there's also the magnet in the coil. The screw comes loose, and you have to regap it and put it back together. And I don't know how much fun that's going to be, but let's start. I've heard a few different things. One is to get a flat blade screwdriver and just kind of twist this off, but you kind of mess it up. The other thing I've heard is to get a vise or a clamp. I got my Bessie clamp here. Wrap this with cardboard so you don't damage it, and you squeeze this, and then this you should be able to pop out. Now I don't know what happened to my picks. They ended up somewhere, who knows, but what I'm going to do is see how much I need to wrap here, and I'm sure that'll turn on several times during this process. So I have this wrapped around. Next thing I'm going to do is grab my clamp, and I am going to clamp it the long way here and hope I don't destroy anything. Push that back a little bit. I don't know how much pressure I need to put on here, but we're about to find out. Just putting some finger pressure until I see that widen. Okay, and there I see it widen. Okay, now let's get something I can try to pick that out with. Just got my really old Craftsman screwdriver, and that looks like it's coming out pretty easy. There we go. Now this is coming out. Oh, I actually got lucky. I hear people say that these clips never want to come out, and normally what you do is you put a blunt object on the top, like a big screwdriver back, and you push that through. But this one's actually coming through on its own. Maybe it's because I squeezed it enough. I don't know. So let's pull this out. And just so I know what's what, is I am going to take a marker. I'm just going to tap the front of this so I know that that is the front of the toothbrush. And we'll pull this out, put it aside, and I'm going to put this aside. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so first thing they talk about this screw right here. So what I'm going to do, they say get a number 1 screwdriver, but I got this. I'm going to tighten it to make sure it's okay. That bit is a little too big, as I figured it may be. And that is about as tight as it can be. Okay, I don't know how well you can see that. Here's the control panel, and there's a screw. If we turn this, we see a screw right here. This is one of the screws where that tend to loosen up, I'm told. So let me see if this screwdriver fits here. I used to have a jeweler screwdriver set, and for the life of me, I have no idea where I ended up. So I've got this cheap Husky set, but it's been a lifesaver. So let me pull this out and find the right size bit. That looks like it. And that's tight, and people say it's usually the back one that comes loose. And you can see the magnet right there. I've heard people will slide something in there because the magnet may collapse up. Now the biggest problem is disconnecting the plastic from this metal backing. Some people say bend it, but someone said that just kind of grab the coil and the battery area, just pull it up and out, and it should disengage with some struggling, that is. And there we go. And it disconnected pretty well. Now I can't see the magnet too well here, so I'm going to flash this light in here to see. And to be honest with you, I cannot see the magnet in the pictures I saw before. Oh, here's the battery compartment lead for that. That keeps pressure, I guess. And there's the other screw on the back side. So what I need to do now is try to figure out where that magnet is and push it down. So I think I can't see the magnet because of these screws. So what I'm going to do is loosen these two screws and pull the assembly down to pull the magnet further away. And they say basically what happens is it comes out of alignment. So I'm trying to figure out what here. I don't know if the magnet's the issue or not, but as I can see, this is not pulling away. So I'm going to take a second to take a better look here. Okay, I think this is what I was looking for right there. And that would explain a lot. So let me see if I can't pull that away. Okay, that's what it is. There's the magnet that was powerful. So they tell you to get something like a credit card. I have my Dave & Buster's card here. I've only been there once. Guys' night out. And this was tied across, so I think that was my issue. So someone said that this might be difficult. Some people put a screwdriver and whatnot. There we go. I got a space there. Do I have a space on the other side? I don't know. So I'm going to grab a second card, or possibly even a screwdriver. And I'm going to be careful with the screwdriver because last thing I want to do is crack something. So that's the problem. It was touching. So they say about 1 millimeter, and to be honest with you, I'm just going to kind of wing this. So, and if we look here, I don't know if I could pull this up. You see this screw right here? This was in the middle, and now it's pushed back. And that's what people are saying is it has to be pulled back. So, I'm just going to push it back all the way, or further anyway, and grab the right screwdriver. Tighten that up. That's good. And they say this can happen. It's by design, or cheap design probably, that if this gets dropped or something, you know, that this can happen. Now, I've never dropped it, and I've asked some people here. Let me zoom this in a little bit. And I've asked some people about that here to see if it was dropped, and of course you hear no. So now if you look, you will see that there is a gap between the magnet and the motor where there wasn't before, and there's a gap here and a gap here. Okay, so next thing is this had fallen out, and this I guess just keeps pressure here. And I should have paid a little more attention when it fell out, or when it partially fell out and I put it in. This goes in here. And what has to happen is you got these slots here. If you could see, I don't know if I can show you theirs, if that'll focus right. You see those T slots? They're upside down T's. But those have to merge in with the T slots on the back of this plastic. I can't get this thing to focus, and I'm moving it the wrong way. So let's see if I can't push that in there. Let me put this spring back in and get the flashlight in there to see where the T slots are. Oop, I turned it on by accident. Turn that back off. I've heard some people have broke this after putting it back together because they did something wrong. So I think I've been pretty lucky here that this came apart pretty easy. Oh, that button is very sensitive. So, alright, I got this thing back together. Let me move this camera. So here it is. And again, the gap we were concerned about was between the magnet here. Sorry. And what we were concerned with was the gap between the magnet and the coil, and again, it's supposed to be 1 millimeter. You know, that's what people are saying. And the credit card fits in there nicely. Let's try the other side, and that's pretty good. It might be slightly bigger gap. I'm not going to worry about it. It's either throw away $100 piece here. We bought it. It was like a 2-pack with a disinfectant, whatever. So here's this. Now let's bring this jig back up. There's the dot we put. That's going to show where the front is, but we know that because the buttons are there. So I'm going to slide this back in, and it's coming up through. It's interesting. I should have pulled this cap off, but it's not coming off easy, so I really don't want to take it off. You basically got to squeeze these 2 plastic tabs to take it off. However, I didn't have to do that when I took it apart, but people say you have to stick a screwdriver in there or something to get it out. Let me see if I can pull that out. It's almost as if it's part of this. Maybe the design has changed, but you can't even pull this off. So we'll do what we were doing. Push this in. Got that in. Toothbrush seems to be all the way back in. I'm going to loosen my clamp here. I don't know what the quality of this video is supposed to be, folks, and I apologize now. And now that's together. Now this has got to be watertight, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But this is exposed. Let's see how well it works. Let me go back to the clean cycle. It definitely feels different, and it works. Again, the brush for this would face up, so you would be pressing this against your teeth, and probably maybe I press too hard, but I get good vibration here. If I I still get vibration when I touch it lightly, and hotter, I still get that nice vibration. Same forward and same side to side. So I'm actually going to think that this has actually been solved. So I'm going to go give it a test run. You don't need to watch me brush my teeth though. Okay, and that worked. And just to show you, now that the brush is on there, as it spits water everywhere, it keeps its good vibration in all directions. I don't know how good the video quality is going to be. I probably could have zoomed in a little bit more. But if you have one of these, a 2-pack of these with the disinfectant stations, you're talking like 120, 130, 40 bucks. So, what did I spend on this? 5, 10, 15 minutes. The plastic on the bottom is still a little compressed, but I'm guessing with a little time it'll go back to normal, but it does have an O-ring seal there. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you know when I put out a new video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.